take the plunge? So, the only things you can bring with you is yourself. And maybe a few other trinkets that are really important to you. Okay, close your eyes. Picture your destination. Hold it in your mind.
Hello, folks. Nick here. Nick without Mike. Mike is not currently here. So I was gonna do a thing. I talked about that on camera, where just, you know, stuff, which is side questing, basically. Just leveling up stuff, doing deliveries, taking care of all of that, which is basically just gonna be, you know, the same sort of thing over and over again, and not really advancing the story content, but it's stuff we kind of should be doing. So I figured I was just gonna do that off screen and make like a big supercut out of it, to spare you all just, you know, the grind, because there's quite a lot of that in this game. If you want to do it that way, you probably don't even have to, but if you wanna, you can. And there's also a lot of like lore to go through. To read up on the lore and the lore entries, so I thought I'd check that out together with all of you, and see if we can make some sort of sense out of you know, what's going on in this game, and also obviously take the opportunity to watch Norman Reedus do the old PM poo. Yeah, can never get enough of that, and the shower too. But this is like where I'm gonna start, you know, cutting in and out. So let's just jump right to the lore. Let's go through some codex entries, some journals. Yeah. All right, let's just start going through these, I guess. Right? Re-establishing shipping lanes. How's it going, Sam? So you put Port Knot City back on the map. Not bad. Folks around here seems pretty pumped about becoming part of the UCA, and all of that comes with it. All that comes with it. Cairo printers, especially. You should have seen their faces when I gave them a demo. It was like I was conjuring equipment out of thin air. Oh, and before I forget, I should also thank you for all the stuff you brought. And for taking care of that BT, too. Ah, yeah, the boss fight. You've given everyone a shot of inspiration and courage to carry on. And there's not much that's more precious than that these days. There was a time when I was so shit scared of BTs that I just wanted to shut myself away and hide forever. But that's not an option. I know that now. We're on the front line here. Bridges isn't gonna make it all the way west if we don't step up our game. But don't worry, we won't let you down. We'll get Port Knot City back on its feet in no time. I won't take up any more of your time. He probably will. That's all I had to say anyway. A couple of the guys wanted me to write you to make sure you knew we had your back. Come what may, we won't be throwing in the towel. Same goes for you, right? Thumbs up. Like, at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read these, but I'm also gonna sort of just like splice in me side questing. So, you know, you can watch it. It'll be a thing. Whereas like you see me play the game and you see me read stuff at the same time. It's like magic. But that being said, let's jump to the next one. Jake Wind from the Wind Farm. That's right, his name is Jake Wind. Tell Amelie we're true believers. Dear Sam, how's it going? Still heading west? We're rooting for you. We were part of the second group, so we never got to speak with Amelie face to face. Caught the occasional holo message, but that was about it. Still, every little bit helped to keep us going. She's just like her mother. Tough, clever, easy on the eye too. Won't lie and say I didn't notice. But what really resonated with us was that fire she carries, that conviction, same as Bridget. Any one of us would have laid down our lives in service to her vision. So we never actually met her in person. I suppose this is all a long-winded way of saying you ought to move on and meet her like we never got to. And when you do, tell her we're all still believers in the cause, and in her, and her mother. You'll do that, won't you? What if it turns out that like Emily doesn't actually exist? That like she's just a hologram. Alright, next one. William Lake. That's his name. He lives in Lake Knot City. All about preppers. We made rounds of the local preppers when I first arrived here with Bridges 1. There should be some interviews floating around that the records team transcribed. Take a look if you get the chance. I like how they highlight things in yellow, things that are probably a bit more important.
The legend returned. How you doing, Sam? You trying to put the rest of us to shame? Fine by me.
We were mainly sounding out the situation on the ground, and trying to convince them to join the UCA, of course. But we already suspected that they weren't the type to follow the herd. Why else would they be out here? Still, we found the odd community-minded soul among them. Not all were holed up in shelters by choice. Some were running from something, others had just been born into the life. Getting the few we did to throw their lot in with the UCA was a pain in the ass though. Didn't help that the chiral network wasn't up and running back then either. All we could do was put the parts in place and promise they were gonna work someday. And now they finally do. Thanks to you, Sam Porter Bridges, the postman. Could be the skeptics might finally come around now that we can show as well as tell. You keep up the good work, you hear? Get us all back on the grid. 4 thumbs up. I like that. That's a lot of thumbs. Alright, what's the elder got to say? Why join the UCA? Are you still out there fighting the good fight, kiddo? I tip my hat to you for that, and for bringing an old curmudgeon his medicine. I'm doing a whole lot better for it. Much obliged. So, in exchange for signing a contract with Bridges, I get meds and supplies delivered to my doorstep? That's no different from the deal I had with Fragile Express. And while I may not have full use of this here network of yours, I can access the weather data and news I need to make life easier than before. All that without my having to join the UCA, so what incentive is there to do so? Good point. We shouldn't give you all of this stuff for free. We should force you to join our group. Because we're the good guys. We're Americans. That's what Americans do. They force you to join their side. Because they're the good guys. Alright. Next up. Peter Englert. A humble request for pizza? My dear Mr. Sam Bridges, it is an honor to make your acquaintance. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Peter Englert. After hearing so much about you, all good I hasten to add, I simply could not resist the urge to initiate a correspondence. My request is of such great import that I dare entrust it only to the man who delivers. My sister, bless her heart, has been feeling under the weather, and I feel there's only one thing that might restore the color to her cheeks. Pizza! Kojima, what? What are you on to here? I wonder if you might be so kind as to collect some from Lake Knot City and deliver to our humble abode. I am more than aware of the gravity and urgency of your westward journey, but if you could find it in your heart to squeeze us in, I would be ever so grateful. Oh, and my dear sister is something of a ham lover. Please bear that in mind if you decide to oblige me. Heart, thumb, 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 thumb. Alright, we'll do that. I guess we'll deliver some pizza to you. That seems urgent. Alright, some more stuff from William Lake. Don't keep the others waiting. Hey Sam, can't tell you how good it was to see you coming over the water on that boat. First time we'd welcomed so much as a turd in. What, must be 2 years now. Some folks were even saying everything east of Ground Zero must have been wiped out completely. The occasional message drifted in from HQ, but people, not a one. We'd half given up on the Cupid ever being finished. On the second expedition. The whole shebang. And then you show up, and with a working Cupid to boot. Our knight in shining armor. Sorry, don't mean to sound like I'm not grateful. I am, more than you know. Every single person here was waiting for someone like you to come along. And there'll be more waiting west of here. A lot more. You'd best go find them. Alright, so there were like a couple of different expeditions, I guess. The first expedition was with Emily to just go west and just find people and just lay down a path. The second expedition seems like they built like the groundwork, I guess. Built structures and stuff, started like making settlements. And the third expedition was supposed to connect everything together. And I guess that's us. I guess we're the third expedition. Just me. Alright, the engineer. Shoot. The commencement of Evo Devo unit testing. I know it can't be easy out there on your own, Sam, but we need you to stay strong. I've started on a few experiments with the Evo Devo unit you brought me. So far things are going pretty well. I'm not quite at the stage where I can perfectly recreate objects, but I suspect that's only because the chiral network's coverage is still limited. The more places you bring online, the better my results, most likely. Anyway, I'll be submitting regular reports on my process to Bridges. Rest assured, I'll keep at it. Incidentally, I've taken an interest in the Odor deck lately. Ooh, is that gonna be like the next thing we get upgraded? Neato. These days, people tend to associate them with BBs, or think of them as BT detectors, but they were originally designed as more all-purpose scanners for the detection of people and various objects. Seems they've undergone quite a few changes over the years. By all accounts, many of the original features were cut at some point. One such feature would allow users to project holograms, which could be pretty useful, and another would utilize chiral connections to reconstruct past data for present-day applications. I don't believe these features are lost forever, though. If we keep expanding the network, someone's bound to take the initiative and create new and improved versions of them. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time, Sam. We should catch up in person one day. No, you're gonna be down there in the bunker, and I'm not only gonna be able to see a hologram of you. That's how this works. We know this. Ooh, the craftsman. Mules, heroes, or villains? Hey Sam, how's that bola gun working out for you? You put it to good use yet? Hell yeah. Listen, I've come up with a few more ideas for new gadgets since we last spoke, and Chiral Network makes it so easy to share data. You can fabricate stuff pretty much anywhere. In fact, I might ask you to test them out for me sometime. It's in your interest too, what with you maybe having to go up against mules and whatever other crazies are out there. But if you do have to throw down, remember the mules used to be just like you. They were porters when the world went to hell. People trying to help people and all their chaos and confusion. Would have been hailed as heroes if they hadn't gone batshit. That's what most people think, me included. Though, I heard it might not be that simple. Might be that they started out as smugglers, and that's why they can navigate all kinds of hard country. Guys like that, well, something tells me they wouldn't be altruists at heart. Guess there's no way of knowing the truth of it now, because they're fucked forever. Anyway, Sam, I doled out a few of those hematic grenades you brought me to some local porters, along with some blood bags. If they work as advertised, then our people might just be able to stand up to BTs if necessary. Could be a new beginning for the whole community. So, but that only works with my blood, right? So do I have to just donate blood to everyone so that they can also kill BTs? And it's gonna take a lot of monster to replenish all my blood. Well, that's the mail. So let's jump over to the interviews. You know, all the stuff with Heartman and stuff. That's probably more lore related. All right, let's dig deep into this. What do we got? Chiral symmetry, written 3 years ago in the Bridges HQ lab. The word chiral comes from the Greek chire, meaning hand. Compare your left with your right. They seem familiar in both size and shape, yes? Now face your palms away from you and place one hand over the other. Their shapes do not overlap exactly, but place your palms together and voila, a match. It is as if one hand is the mirror image of the other. But again, if you were to actually compare the mirror image of your hand to itself, we would see that the two are not identical. This is the essence of chirality, the state in which the mirror image of a shape does not match the original. It has been theorized that BTs are mirror images of ourselves. Were we to exist in the same point in time and space, our shapes, as it were, would not overlap neatly onto one another, save in reflection. And when our particles meet their opposites, a void-out occurs. Oh, so it's like a sort of matter-antimatter thing? Alright. The new form of communication we have devised utilizes beaches, which are akin to mirrors reflecting this world and the other. Hence the term chiral network. Alright, okay, sure. Chiralium. Also 3 years ago. Oh, you would like to know more about chiralium? Well, wouldn't we all? I am happy to present the latest theories, but you must be aware that this is all that they are, theories. Chiralium, like dark matter, was born along with our universe and has existed ever since, just not in a dimension we were able to perceive. Until now. It is the beach that gives us access to that dimension, and with it, knowledge of chiralium's existence. Not just knowledge of it, of course. We have since observed it coalescing into crystalline form, and recorded measurable physical and mental effects on individuals exposed to it. It has reshaped our understanding of reality and proven instrumental in the formulation of the multiverse theory of beaches. Chiral matter is not affected by the passage of time. As far as these particles are concerned, none has elapsed since the Big Bang. Little wonder they escaped our notice for so long, until man and BT first came together in Void Out and left nothing but chiralium in their wake. Many of these claims are yet to be verified, but I believe that this is a fair summary of the scientific community's current consensus on the matter. Who are the scientific community? Is it you, Hartman? Is it just you? I shall soon be heading west with the first expedition, and I look forward to learning more about chiralium and its connection to the beach along the way. Now hold up here, because we've seen Hartman in cutscenes. We've seen him in the background, not saying anything, in the scenes with like Deadman and Die Hard Man. So was that like also a hologram? Because if he went west with the first expedition, that's where he should be, right? He should be somewhere west. Unless he came back. Did he? No one else came back. That's weird. I guess we'll figure it out later. Alright, let's learn about chiral contamination. That seems neato, right? Chiral contamination is the result of prolonged exposure to chiral radiation, which is emitted by chiralium, a substance discovered at the same time as the beach. Prolonged exposure can significantly impact physical and mental health. The effects are not dissimilar from those observed in individuals exposed to extremely high levels of stress, levels which can be fatal even. Such traumatic experiences can alter hormonal secretions, impair immune response, contribute to heart failure, and induce strokes. The most common symptom of chiral contamination is poor sleep quality due to vivid nightmares. If left unchecked, however, it can quickly progress a more advanced stage in which the aforementioned issues may be observed. The potential impact on an individual's mental health cannot be understated. The resulting hormonal imbalances frequently lead to heightened destructive impulses toward the self and others. Those dominated by such urges are named homo demons, the mad ones. In the case of some porters, such as mules, impaired memory and judgment has led them to develop an irrational obsession with their profession, hence the homo gestalt moniker. While it should be feasible and preferable for most individuals to avoid chiral contamination at all costs, there are those with a demonstrated resistance who need not be so cautious. I speak, of course, of dooms sufferers. Okay, but what's dooms though? What is it though, Hartman? I don't know what it is. Will we ever learn what dooms is? Maybe. Okay, chiral contamination 2. Chiral contamination can be alleviated using similar methods to those used to alleviate stress. Increasing oxytocin secretion through contact with other people, administering smart drugs, and so forth. In recent years, however, a hormone dubbed lyxin A hormone dubbed Lyxin, known to mitigate the effects of chiral contamination while also restoring basic physical and mental acuity, has attracted a great deal of attention from the scientific community. Unlike oxytocin, Lyxin cannot be administered externally. It is secreted within the body, but only in response to external stimuli. It is said to be the hormone principally responsible for the positive feelings that occur when one achieves a goal, enjoys success, receives praise or gratitude, or any other form of like from a fellow human being. Alright, so getting likes actually makes your body produce Lyxin, which counteracts chiral contamination. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever, Hartman. What the fuck ever. Okay, here we go. This is good. The discovery of beaches and the concept of death. With the discovery of the beach, the fundamental truth of death was upended. I doubt you will find many who would deny this. Alas, we can say little with confidence in any objective or scientific capacity, for our understanding of this new realm remains in its infancy and is ever evolving, much like our understanding of the universe as a whole. Perhaps the closest thing we have to a working explanation of the beach relates to the conception of a multiverse. But I digress. The beach is arguably both a concept and a reality. A discrete beach is influenced by the mind of the associated individual, and therefore linked to them irrevocably. This is why we have so energetically pursued the psychological, psychoanalytical, and neuroscientific angles when attempting to create a unified theory of the Death Stranding, the beach, and related phenomena. There was a fad a while back in which subjects underwent counseling in order to learn more about their beaches, and in so doing gain a greater understanding of the nature of death. Doom sufferers in particular provided excellent opportunities for study. An interesting theoretical question arose during that period. If a person's beach was a product of their consciousness, might animals have beaches as well? A conundrum on the surface perhaps, but one quickly resolved. Only human corpses undergo necrosis and become BTs, which proves somewhat conclusively that only a human can possess a beach. And yet this begs another question. If all that is required is consciousness akin to that of a human, could an AI have a beach? An android? I for one do not believe so. Why? Because the function of our beaches is to connect the worlds of the living and the dead. If an entity was never born, has not truly lived, and will never know death, surely it cannot have a beach. The Evo Devo unit. It seems a rather significant breakthrough has been achieved back at headquarters. They've successfully integrated an Evo Devo unit into a chiral printer. In case you are not familiar with the term, Evo Devo refers to evolutionary developmental biology. Evolutionary developmental, like developing evolution? Okay. Your genes, mouse genes, dinosaur genes, the genes of every living being are virtually identical, and yet we develop into such radically different organisms. Thus, a question arises. Why did such disparate life arise from these self-same building blocks? Evo Devo was the field of study that sought to solve that mystery, to lay bare the secrets of evolution. Before the advent of Evo Devo, it was thought that in order to reconstruct a dinosaur, we would require a sample of its DNA. However, thanks to this technology's ability to extrapolate from existing data, we could, with the correct stimulus, grow a dinosaur from the DNA of any living organism. We could, in essence, recreate the process by which dinosaurs evolved from primeval life forms. An Evo Devo unit applies these same principles to the problem of information and object reconstruction. With the help of the chiral network, we may take incomplete data, and indeed incomplete objects, and reproduce their complete forms. This data can then be fed into a chiral printer, et voila, partial data yields finished product. The tech isn't viable for everyday use just yet, but when it is, it will be of incalculable benefit to our research and bring our reconstruction efforts forward by a matter of decades. We can make dinosaurs, people! And it won't be those weird ones that coo and have feathers and stuff. No, it will be the dinosaurs of our childhood. before they ruin dinosaurs for everyone.